For example, by the 1st of March 2016, I will be able to walk to my bathroom at home without any assistance from a carer or equipment. This is an example of the time frame on this goal, and it will be dependent on so many things related to the person's current level of functioning. This may be a long-term goal for some, taking for several months to achieve, or for others it may be a short-term goal because their starting point may be very different. Again, this goal in itself can be broken down into further stepping stones. We've now reached a point where it is useful to reflect on what's been presented so far. This is the first of 3 exercises for you to do as part of this presentation. Take some time out while you do this. This will take you about 10 minutes. How do you feel about setting goals to help you with your recovery? What do you see as those advantages and disadvantages of setting goals? Have you set any goals for yourself in the past? How has this gone for you? Have you any past examples of what you have achieved? How has this worked for you? There's a worksheet number 1 to write down your thoughts. Take some time to do this before you move on to the next session of the presentation. Okay, that was your first exercise for this presentation. How did that go? How did you do? This exercise was to enable you a chance to sit back and reflect on how you're feeling about the process of goal setting. For some people, knowing where to start can be very daunting. The next part of this presentation looks at this in more detail. How do I decide where to start? Thinking about where you are now and where you want to be. Thinking about where you are now can be daunting, and some people may have very clear ideas about where they want to be. Others may struggle to imagine life with control over their symptoms. A good way to work out what goals you want to set is by thinking on a day-to-day basis on what you are able to do, what your day looks like now, and how you may want it to look in the future. Start with where you are now and what you do every day, and think about your daily routine from when you first wake up. What do you do? How do you get up? What do you have for breakfast? Who prepares that breakfast? Do you need help? Do you do that yourself? How do you get washed and dressed? Again, do you do that yourself? Do you need assistance? Do you have equipment perhaps that you use? Then what happens? And then what happens next? Continue to think about this till you've outlined a typical day and a current daily routine for you. Some people may have fluctuations in their days, and you may experience good days and bad days. If this happens, then do an example of a good day and a bad day. We will write down now how they differ, and then in future sessions we can look at what influences a good day and a bad day. Now we need to look at where you want to be. What would your daily routine be if you could do exactly what you wanted without the limitations of your condition? Describe your ideal day in as much detail as possible. Exercise 2. This is the second exercise you will be doing during this presentation, and you've probably worked out what this exercise is going to be. Yes, it's exactly what we've just been talking about. Take a break from looking at the computer and fill in the worksheet provided, worksheet 2, detailing a typical daily routine. You can do more than one if you have very different days, and it might be difficult for you to think at this stage about what your days look like. So you could use this exercise to do over the next couple of days and write it down in diary form. How did you do? This exercise was to enable you a chance to think about what is important to you on a daily basis. Some people may have identified several different routines. That's okay, and we can look at why people may fluctuate in later sessions. Some people may have had difficulty looking at where and they want to be. Whatever you manage to do, that's okay. I have some further suggestions about to look at ideas for goals. Our daily activities can be broken down into different kinds of activities. There are many activities that we take part in each day. Some of these are essential, such as eating, drinking and going to the toilet. Some of these things we have to do, such as caring for family or working, or both. And some of these are things we like to do, such as engage in a hobby. When we've been looking at setting goals, we've looked at it in terms of your daily activity. An occupational therapist will break activity down into the following categories. Self-care, which are those essential daily tasks that we've talked about. Productivity, which are the things we have to do. These can involve activities both inside the house and outside the house. And leisure, those things we really want to do. It's important to get a balance of these kinds of activities. If all your goals are in one area of this, then you will not have occupational balance within your life. For example, if all your goals are set around self-care, but you have no goals set around leisure, about things you want to do, you may use all your energy in getting washed and dressed in the morning and not have any time to do the things you really enjoy. In looking at setting goals, looking at goals in each of these categories and having a mixture of goals is a useful tool in making sure you have a balance of activity throughout the day. The value you have on certain activities will also impact on how you set your goals. Exercise 3. This is the last exercise that we have for this presentation. Using the worksheets provided, look at setting yourself short-term goals for the week, medium-term goals such as what you want to achieve prior to your hospital admission, and also think about what kind of goals you'd like to set for your inpatient stay, bearing in mind that it will be a very different environment to you're currently in with different support systems. Doing this will take some practice, and nobody expecting this to go perfectly, and when you talk to us during your telephone consultation we can discover how you're getting on with this process. This is our final slide, and thank you. We hope you found this useful and enjoyable. We always welcome your feedback. You will have an opportunity to discuss any issues brought up in these presentations and the previous ones you've watched with Sue or Michael when we talk to you in your telephone consultation. We will have already made an appointment with you. If we haven't, we will be doing this shortly. If you need to speak to anyone about any issues this has raised, please contact your GP or the healthcare professional identified in our discussions with you. We look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.